Hello aspirants, welcome to GS Core. We will see the daily current affairs through the MCQs, our initiative for prelims. I am Ashutosh and let's begin the session. First of all, we will see that what topics we have to cover today. The first is vicarious liability. Second is the border area development program, or in particular the vibrant village program, which was in news today. Idukki District in Kerala, then the Arctic warming and its implications, because there was a report that uh, the warming in the Arctic and the Arctic lightning is on increase since last 10 years. There is an increase in the intensity of the Arctic warming. The last one, the Vaikom Satyagraha. So all these five topics were in news, and based on the theme of these topics, we'll see the questions first. Starting with the first one, the vicarious liability. This was in news. Why? Because the ED, that is the Enforcement Directorate, has claims vicarious liability against the Aam Aadmi Party in the liquor scam case. So basically, the liquor scam case in which the current CM of Delhi has been arrested, has taken into the remand for his alleged role in the money which has been received through kickbacks and the money laundering, because the money which has been it is alleged by the ED that the money which has accrued through the Aam Aadmi Party from the liquor policy, this has been laundered in the Goa and Punjab elections. Okay, so here the term vicarious liability is of utmost importance. So first of all, what is vicarious liability? Basically, the vicarious liability is a legal concept. It is a legal concept. Under this, the accountability of employers for the actions of their employee is decided. It means that if I am working in a company A, okay, then if I am taking any actions or my actions are in contravention of law, knowingly or unknowingly, okay, and those actions which I have taken in the contravention of law, these violates the legal process, okay, and if I am doing so in the capacity of being an officer of that company, of that corporation, being the employee of that corporation, if I am doing that kind of illegal activity, not only me but also my company will be a liability for that matter. It will be under that legal circle. Okay, sorry. So the legal aspect includes that in a situation where the employee's actions are within the scope of their employment, and even if the employer did not directly instruct or participate in those actions, that will be known as the vicarious liability. It is basically a legal concept. Okay, by this concept, actually it encourages the employers, that who is my employer, to exercise proper supervision and training over their employees to prevent the wrongful acts and ensure the public safety. So it is when you are held partly responsible for the unlawful action. Okay, so you are held responsible for unlawful action. So in that case of liquor policy case, the Aam Aadmi Party, AAP party, as a company, as a political party, is being held responsible for the actions of its office bearer or the convener. In that capacity, Arvind Kejriwal was the convener, and he was held in that capacity also. So it can arise in situation where one party is responsible for a third party and is negligent in carrying out that responsibility and exercising its control. So this is known as the vicarious liability, where the liability will be fixed on a person who is not directly involved but his company was involved. He will be liable for that matter. Okay. So in that case, the ED claims the vicarious liability against the Aam Aadmi Party in the liquor scam case. So let's see the question based on that. Consider the following statement regarding vicarious liability. Statement 1 says, a political party as a company is a separate legal entity under PMLA, that is the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, and can be prosecuted independently of its member or those who operate it. So first statement number 1 is correct here. As I just told you, that it considered the political party Aam Aadmi Party as a separate legal entity that can be prosecuted under that law. And basically, under the Under that law, we have the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Under that, specifically, section number 70 deals with that. Section number 70 deals with that. That could include within some ambit a political party, a corporation, a kind of a trust. Okay, so these can be booked under that ED law under section 70 of Prevention of Money Laundering Act. And the political parties, as you must be knowing, covered under the RPA 1951 section 29 deals with the political parties in India. So liability of their representation goes with that statement. Number 2, under the legal principle of vicarious liability, a person or entity can be held responsible for the actions of others. So 2 leads to 1 because the statement 2 says that it's a legal principle which make a person liable or entity can be liable for the responsible action of others. So others means the member of the political party of AAP. So that's why the AAP as a political party was persecuted, was trying to be it's said to be persecuted under the law. Okay, so our answer will be A or the 1. Okay, both statement 2 and 1 and 2 are correct. So statement 2 is the correct explanation for statement 1. Next topic we have the topic number 2, border area development program. This was in news because the vibrant village program is reinvigorating the tourism potential of border areas, which is creating the new livelihood opportunities for the local populace. So that's why the topic border area development program was taken in news, and based on that we have framed a question for you. So the first question is on regarding the development of border areas. So in particular, the first statement says that vibrant village program focus mainly on the road connectivity of border villages. Now, the vibrant village program, okay, this was a program which focuses on the funds for development of infrastructure and connectivity, creating livelihood opportunities, and focus on the creating the conditions which will help to gain that particular good employment for those persons living in the border areas. So basically it is not mainly on the road connectivity, but creation of infrastructure, connectivity, and the livelihood opportunities. Under that we have many things, like they also focus on the sustainable development part. Okay, so basically the intent of the scheme, okay, the intent of the scheme is more towards the creation of livelihood opportunity and promotion of tourism. Okay, the promotion of tourism, and after that, if the border villages have any heritage, so that heritage will be promoted. With that promotion, you must be aware what it will lead to, a livelihood. So basically creating the conditions for livelihood is one of the main intent of this program. Further, it has the use of renewables energy in the requirement of energy for that matter. Okay, so basically the vibrant village program is not just focusing on the road connectivity. The point being, if you have to attempt this question, you have to focus on the each and every word. So mainly here it was the keyword here. So 1 is incorrect here. Second number statement says the army is responsible for infrastructure development in inaccessible border areas through BRO. Now BRO is an organization under Ministry of Defense. Okay, with Prime Minister as chairman and the Defense Minister as one of the member secretaries. But however, the responsibility is not with the army but with the civil organizations, because the Ministry of Defense is heading that organization. That BRO is under the Ministry of Defense. Okay, so that's why the army is not responsible, but the civil organizations are responsible for the overall development of border areas. Okay, in particular, if you say about the border road organization, this organization was created for creating the road network in 1960s. This organization was created, and this was for creation of the road network and that road network were created in the border areas. Of course, the name suggests the border areas, and in particular the north and northeastern borders of India. Okay, north and northeastern border of India. It is in the Ministry of Defense. Ministry of Defense के अंदर है ये, and it also has a responsibility to construct the roads in foreign countries. So UPSC can ask you a question based on that BRO deals with the creation of road within the country only. No, it will be incorrect, as they also have created some road and the connectivity in the countries, like for example they have done so in Bhutan, Myanmar, the friendly and the neighborhood countries, for example in Afghanistan also. So basically what I mean to say, that if you are reading the newspaper, you might be coming across that BRO has developed road in other countries like Bhutan, Myanmar, because such things gets mentioned around that. Okay, and even the recently BRO has connected road which has connected the Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim. So you have to focus on the current affairs, and if you have read somewhere that they are creating also in the foreign country, so you will not be getting the confused when the question come on that topic, that they are not responsible for creating the foreign roads in the foreign country. So that's why reading the newspaper is very important. So number 2 is also incorrect. Why? Because not the army but the civil organizations. So option will be number D. That is the neither 1 nor 2 are correct. Okay, I hope you got the point here. So Vibrant Village program launched in 2023. Okay, and it is a centrally sponsored. It is a centrally sponsored. That money comes from the center, sponsored hai ye, especially in the state of Arunachal, Himachal, Sikkim, Uttarakhand and the UT of Ladakh. Okay, with the intent of creating the livelihood opportunities, promotion of tourism, heritage skills, connectivity, etc. And the BADP, the Border Area Development Program. It is a program, okay, which envisages to create the infrastructure, the roads in the western sector of the borders of India, in the western borders. And this program was launched back in the 7th 5-year plan in 1986-1987. Okay, so it focused on the development need of the border people, focused on development need of border people or the people living in the border areas. Okay, so that is the intent of the border area development program. So we are clear with the Vibrant Village plan. Okay, and basically in the terms of Vibrant Village plan, one thing to remember, that the plans which have been there in the Vibrant Village program, those will be the responsibility to develop those plans will be with the local administration with the help of the Gram Panchayats, and 100% saturation of central and state schemes will be ensured under this program. Okay, so key outcomes that has been envisaged, of course, the connectivity, all weather road, drinking water, 24/7 electricity, solar and wind energy. So I hope the concept and the important facts have been covered here. Okay, BRO, important facts you must remember for the prelims point of view. Topic number 3 is Idukki District. Basically, Idukki District was in news because of the drought which is being there in the Idukki District. So Idukki District is facing one of the most severe drought. It is facing one of the severe drought, or सूखा गया वहां पे, and that sukha is leading to the disturbing in the cardamom plantation. So cardamom plantation का plants का वहां पे बहुत disturb हो रहा है, wilting of the cardamom plants. So that's why it was in news. So based on that, let's see the number 3rd question we have. It's a mainly paragraph based question. This beautiful high range district of Kerala is geographically known for its mountainous hills and dense forest. For the people of Kerala, it is always associated with the power generation. About 66% of the state power needs come from the hydroelectric power projects in the district. So it is also known as the Spice Garden of Kerala. So basically, if you see the paragraph, you will get the hint and you will get most of the information. Like for example, starting with the mountainous hills and the dense forest. So if you are aware of the geographical location of that particular district, out of them Mallapuram, Allapura, Idukki, Wayanad, so you will be able to streamline some of the options. Okay. Now, the for people of with the power generation. So where with the power generation, it means they have a great reservoirs or streams flowing around that area. Okay, and the Spice Garden of India. Spice Garden of India of Kerala is known as the Idukki District. Okay, because there is a good number of cardamom plantations in that area in the Idukki District. Okay, so Idukki is one of the 14 districts in Kerala, and it lies in the cardamom hills of Western Ghats in Kerala. Okay, and numerous cash crop, not only the cardamom, but numerous cash crop like uh, they have been created in the cash crop and spices are cultivated throughout the year and making it a spice garden of Kerala. And further, with regard to the geographical information, this area is a very protected as reserve forest and wildlife sanctuary, and in particular, the river is a Periyar river is a major river that originates and flows through Idukki, and one more river is known as the Pamba river. The Pamba river is another important river that originates in the Idukki, and it flows from Idukki. Okay. There is also a high peak known as Annamudi. Annamudi is one of the highest peak, and its height is 2695 meters. Height is 2695 meters. It is one of the highest point of elevation in the India outside of the Himalayan ranges. Okay, so that's why this was in news, and based on that, some facts have been discussed here. Next topic we have Arctic warming and its implications. So Arctic warming and its implications were in news because the one thing is important, because Russia's invasions has impaired the scientific ability to collect the climate data from Arctic. So this has been reported. However, in last 10 years from 2011 to 2021, the speed of the warming of the Arctic has increased nearly 4 times, and in particular there has been witness of the lightning in the Arctic. Lightning and atmospheric phenomena where ions are exchanged and created the electric currents. So basically that's why it has been in news, and the theme is important from the prelims point of view. So we'll see the concept of Arctic warming and its implications. So let's see the concept through the questions here. It will be more beneficial for you. So consider the following statement regarding the Arctic warming and its implications. So basically the first statement says that the Arctic warming, that Arctic amplification is accelerated when warming compared to the global average due to various factors such as ice albedo feedback and reduced snow cover. Okay. So in this, what we have to see is a few concepts are involved here. First of all, what is amplification? Then we'll see that what is the Arctic amplification. Okay. The Arctic amplification means that when we are all aware that the changes in the surface temperature, the temperature of the surface and the disbalance in the heat radiation, ठीक है, जो रेडिएशन पार्ट है वो उसमें अगर डिसबैलेंस होगा एंड द सरफेस टेम्परेचर में चेंज होगा, दे हैव अ मोर प्रोनाउंस्ड इफेक्ट इन द आर्कटिक रीजन, इन द पोलर रीजन्स, ओके, नोन एज द पोलर एम्प्लीफिकेशन. ठीक है, known as the polar amplification, and this amplification is more pronounced at the north latitude. That's why called as the Arctic amplification. I hope the point is clear to you. When the surface temperature and the radiations both are have an effect, but they have a larger impact and pronounced effect in the polar regions, and in the polar regions they are known as the polar amplification, and this amplification has a more pronounced in the northern latitudes. That's why known as the Arctic amplification. Okay, this is clear to you. Now one thing very important we have to discuss here, the concept is the albedo. Most of you might be knowing the albedo effect. What is ice albedo? Ice albedo basically means that the albedo, that means the shining part of the ice. When the ice is pure, the shining part of the ice reflects most of the radiation toward the sun. But when due to the global warming the ice is melted, the capacity of that ice to reflect back the radiation is reduced. Okay, so it could not reflect back most of the radiation due to the warming, and when that ice which is there and there is a warming in the Arctic, the ice will melt, and thus as ice melt the ocean will be more capable of absorbing the radiations, and thereby driving the amplification in the Arctic. ठीक है, so there will be increase in the warming of the ocean, क्योंकि ice भी वहां पे पिघल चुका है बहुत सारा, and due to that melting of the ice there will be more warming in the ocean, and it will be more that because water will be absorbing the most of the radiations. Okay, so albedo feedback and snow cover, these both are related with that. So it will be the correct answer here, correct options here. Statement 1 is correct. Why? Because Arctic amplification is leading to the warming compared to the global average due to the various factors as ice albedo feedback and reduced snow cover. I hope the point is clear to you that why this albedo and reduced snow cover are creating the Arctic amplification. Okay, because there is a disbalance in the radiation and the surface temperature have a more pronounced impact in the resulting into the polar amplification. Okay. Now the next statement says that Arctic warming has significant implication for the global climate patterns. Of course, if there is a use radiation being absorbed, so it will lead to the global warming, and thus when there is a global warming and particularly in the Arctic, it will be leading to a more global climate being changed into a newer patterns. Also, it will including the altering of the ocean circulation will also be impacted through this Arctic warming and influencing weather system in the mid latitude regions. So in the mid latitude regions, there will be alteration in the ocean circulation. Why? Because affecting the ocean water circulation. How? Because melting ice, it adds fresh water. If the ice melts here, okay, when the ice melts, it adds fresh water, and this when fresh water is added in the Arctic and which flows in North Atlantic, okay, and the fresh water make the sea water less dense, because we all know this phenomena when the water is fresh, so that fresh water makes sea water less dense. Okay, and when the water is less dense, it will be able to sink. It will not be able to sink. So then it will not be able to sink. Not be able to sink, and thus hampering the flow, and it will be not be flowing through the deep ocean, and thus may disrupt the pattern of ocean current. So that's why it will have a alteration impact on the ocean current, that when the ice melt, okay, it adds fresh water in the Arctic which flows in the North Atlantic. Now the fresh water makes sea water less dense, and when the water that is less dense will not be able to sink into deeper ocean and flow through the deep ocean, and thus may disrupt the pattern of the ocean current. So basically you must be knowing ocean current are the flowing waters, ऐसे कहीं भी कई बार फ्लो करते हैं वो, that is known as the cold current when the water is cold. Okay, so that's why the Arctic warming has a huge impact not only on the through the radiation part, increasing the climatic impact, but have also impact on the weather phenomena through that the ocean circulation. Third statement 2 will also be correct here. One of the effect of the climate change is a strong increase in the number of lightning in the Arctic. We all know the lightning happens due to the cumulonimbus clouds, and due to the climate change, there will be increase in the lightning phenomena. Okay, I hope the point is clear to you. So basically, one of the effects of climate change is strong increase in the number of lightning in the Arctic. The lightning increase the risk for the wildfires also. Okay, basically lightning is due to the convectional disbalance, because the warm air at the low pressure, the warm air rises, it meets with the high pressure zone, they create some clouds, and in that cloud there will be transfer of the ions, that there will be when that transfer is occurring, there will be disbalance in the ions, and that creates the electric current. So basically with that effect of the climate change, the lightning in the Arctic will be observed. Okay, I hope the point is clear to you. So Arctic warming, number 2 statement, why correct? Because Arctic warming can disrupt the global climate patterns by affecting the ocean circulation as the weakening of Atlantic meridional overturning circulation, AMOC, because of this phenomena, and influencing the weather system in distant region, including the shift in the jet streams, and other weather system will also be impacted by that Arctic warming. So it is most harmful thing in the world right now. Okay, and due to that we have discussed the ice albedo effect and the reduced snow covers. I hope the concept is clear to you. So basically 1 to 3, all 3 statements are correct here. Now see the last question we have. Vaikom Satyagraha. Okay, the Vaikom Satyagraha, it was in news. Why? Because basically the year 2024, the year 2024 marks the centenary of this Vaikom Satyagraha, known as the first temple entry movement, also known as the first temple entry movement. Okay, known as the first temple entry movement. Okay, so let's see the statements here. The Satyagraha was led by prominent leaders such as K. Kalappan, T. K. Madhavan, and P. Keshwa Menon, K.P. Peshwa Menon, and others. So, Vaikom Satyagraha was significant movements against the untouchability and for the rights of the lower caste individuals in Kerala. Ijava was a caste in the Kerala. So, in Kerala in 1924, there was a movement known as the temple entry movement, because the entrance in the temple was restricted to the upper class and the Brahmanas only. Lower class were untouched with that regard, that temple entry. So, the leaders like K. Kalappan, K. T. Madhavan, and K. P. Keshav Menon, they have played a crucial role in organizing the movement, that Vaikom Satyagraha, which aims to secure the rights of the lower caste individuals to access the public roads around the Vaikom Mahadev, temple, that is in Kerala. Okay, so that was reserved for the Brahmins. Now the lower caste were also allowed to go into that. However, okay, there were few only roads have been opened. So let's see the further statement here. The E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar was a community leader of Ijava who fought against the untouchability faced by Ijava. So basically, Ijava were caste, but E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar, though was a champion, was not from the community leader of the Ijava. Okay, he was not the community leader, but he was invited by the leadership, and that's why he has headed the Satyagraha, Vaikom Satyagraha, but he was not as a community leader. So it might sounding correct to you, but it was not correct. Okay. Third number, the Satyagraha leads to opening of all the roads for lower caste persons surrounding the temple. A basic fact has been asked here that not all the roads have been opened, but only 3 roads have been opened. If you are reading the Vaikom Satyagraha, you will find that there were 4 roads which were leading to the temple, but only 3 have been opened for that matter, and the rest one was reserved for the Brahmanas. So it was not open for everyone. However, the 4th road was kept for the Brahmins. So Vaikom Satyagraha was a very successful Satyagraha, and this year 2024 marked the centenary year of Vaikom Satyagraha. So for prelims also, it is very important to understand the other temple entry movements, caste movements, okay, working class movement. These all movements happened in the year of decade of 1920s, particularly when there was a rise of many newer trends in the freedom struggle, working class movement. And if you are aware, there was a formation of CPI, then there was Hindu Mahasabha, formation of RSS. So these are very important points to know from the historical point of view. That leads to the end of discussion. We'll see you later. Take care. Thank you very much.